But I might be hallucinating here. We'll have to see straight from the duels themselves.
I mean, it sure would be a crime if he's cosplaying as Arius and Arius is not in his deck. But there you see the X-Trap coming out as the beginning of main phase 1 has begun. He's going to randomly get rid of up to 6 cards from his extra deck and then draw 1 card for every 3 cards he gets rid of.
Makes me wonder if he's using simultaneous equation cannons. Could we really see a cosplayer resolve one of the hardest Galaxy Brain cards in the game? Well, let's go ahead and draw for the Pot of Extravagance here. Getting 2 cards here. Lots of monsters, very few traps.
And there we see the Ariana coming down. Going to be able to search for a Labrynth card here.
So as we shuffle through, we do get to see that it is a very monster-heavy. Yeah, there's Kuklok.
That shows that it's definitely going to be the combo Labrynth version. You can tell Kai is excited. He's done this time and time again. He's going to use that Kuklok's ability to be able to activate a trap card this turn. He's chaining to that the ability of Dragoneer, getting rid of Transaction Rollback.
Oh, wow. Going to get a little refund here, but that also means every trap card that hits the graveyard is going to get a double use at some point.
Yep, there we see Big Welcome Labrynth coming down from Kai. This will be able to let him get into his bigger monsters. There we see the Kuklok coming back out from the graveyard because the card was set.
Activate Big Welcome Labrynth to summon from deck or hand deck or graveyard, then bounce one.
And then Javier just going, yep, that's going to be fine. This probably is going to get regular Lovely here, so that way we can get the potential hand rip from Javier. That'd be pretty cool.
Chain Link 1, Lovely Labrynth.
Shows you the deck still is very viable, obviously competing in a format dominated by things like Ryzel, Maliss, Blue Eyes, even Tombkeeper. Somehow this deck managed to get up here, so let's see what it's all about.
Yeah, I know the talk of the town has been Tombkeeper all weekend, but hey, Kai Huang is proving there's other trap decks in this game that we can totally utilize.
Right,
so here we have the roll. Ooh, it's going to be the last. Oh yeah, we have to re-roll for 6. Oh, we got to keep re-rolling for 6, guys. Sorry
just
about
that
it.
good.
It looks like it was 4.
All right, so destroying that card.
And that is Bystial Jewess Worm. Wow. That could have been very important in case any Labrynth monsters hit the graveyard to keep them from coming back.
Well, there was an opportunity technically to do that earlier when the monsters hit the field, but I guess he just wanted to hold out and hope the Bystials did not get hit.
Maybe he wanted to save it for like some of the bigger monsters that might get recycled later, or like Stovey Torby specifically.
Well, too little too late now. We'll see how this continues to play out as Kai Hong continues.
Speaking of Torby Torby, we're going to use his effect discarding this card and the Dragoneer to get another Labrynth trap card.
Take a look through the deck. Always fascinated with which cool traps Labrynth players use. Did not see any simultaneous equation cans, but we do get Welcome Labrynth here. Nice to have the Butler bring the Butler's favorite card.
Yeah, I feel like the combo version doesn't have the extra deck space as maybe the trap deck version does to be able to play the equation cannon, because you kind of do want to go into Chaos Angel sometimes. I've seen a lot of Labrynth players do, and that card's really important.
Oh, the numbers are definitely on his side for that.
Oh, you're going to cut?
Oh, I think Kai just said pass turn. Look at that. He's like, I got my 2 face downs. I'm ready to go.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's see how Javier gets into this duel. He's got that Lucky Jinzo hoodie. Let's see if he can beat down the trap deck.
Stand by me. Yeah.
Going to his main phase 1. I feel like for this kind of board texture, he really needs to worry about specifically the Lovely and then the potential of a Lady coming out of Kai Huang's deck. Just trying to think about all the potential interactions we might have.
Well, you are a Maliss main yourself. What are you most worried about when you're going up against Labrynth? Is it just the fact they can keep clearing the monsters off your field and sending them back to the hand?
Well, it also like the potential for them to put trap cards in their graveyard and resolve them with rollback that I'm not aware of, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's totally possible that we could see something wild like something that like stops us from summoning or banishes our cards before I'm able to bring them back. But here we see the Lady coming down. This will be a really interesting way for him to get even more trap cards that are pretty much all throughout his deck, and we don't know the kinds of potential techs he could be playing, much like how in the Tombkeeper deck you can just play any one trap card you want thanks to Temple of the Kings. Kai can play so many one-of tech cards that, depending on the matchup, could be really devastating.
Well, we'll see how this game continues. The other thing that's kind of interesting is, depending on your Labrynth matchup knowledge, some people do not interrupt the win effect of Lady Labrynth of the Silver Castle. Some people do that, so they kind of overcommit in order to keep those resources from getting away. But let's see what happens here as we just use Fiendsmith Track to add Fabled Lure and likely discard it so we can grab it back.
Something really important about this interaction is that Javier chose to shotgun the Fuelos and sort of force Kai to activate the Welcome Labrynth before maybe he was waiting for a more opportune time to do so. And so now if he does summon any more monsters during Javier's turn, he'll get extra draws.
No response.
So no response there. We're going to go ahead and link summon here into Fiendsmith's sequence, or excuse me, Fiendsmith's Requiem.
Just the other machine here, or I guess they're not really machines, but they're like items that have been created by the Fiendsmiths.
He definitely is a busy engraver, that's for sure.
So Busy is going to be coming into play right now, so we can get the send. That could be a really fun way to force the big welcome. No, we're going to get the Lacrima. Well, Lacrima can also get Engraver, I suppose.
Yeah.
And she is going to get the Engraver. So play kind of settling down here. Both duelists kind of relaxing on the tempo here.
And then, yeah, I feel like, honestly, this could be, if Javier plays it in his deck, a Chaos Angel line to be able to banish some cards. But I believe the lady protects things from being targeted, correct? Or just herself?
Herself if there's a set card.
Right. But other cards can be.
Correct, correct. And then she also can't be destroyed by card effects if there's a set card. So that could really come up during open game states.
Yep, so here we see Necroquip Princess, one of the most honorary Fiendsmith cards if I ever saw one.
Beautiful card, too, by the way. We're taking a look at the art, and that is not just, a one of. Oh, wow.
Ooh, Dominus Impulse on that Engraver, effect to summon back, shuffling back to Lurie. That still happens, but the Engraver does not come back to play. This could be huge if Javier does not have a Maliss name, because he's kind of denied a Link 2.
And we definitely didn't see the Dominus Impulse coming there. Of course, it is a normal trap card and could be used later in the duel with Transaction Rollback.
And in a deck that's all darks, it's really fine to just activate it from the hand. No big deal. Isn't Chaos Angel also a dark?
I believe it is, yeah.
Wow.
So just perfect attribute lining up.
There we see Malice and Underground. That's actually really huge from Javier. I don't know if Kai has a way to stop this because he's already used the Dominus Impulse.
No response.
Really important to note that Javier has not really revealed that he's on Malice against Kai Huang specifically, so he probably didn't see this coming. If he did, he might have saved that Impulse for one of these Malice names summoned back from the graveyard, from the Banish Zone.
We may have seen Javier on stream, but when you're actually entered in the YCS, it's kind of difficult to watch the feed.
Here we see Transaction Rollback. I believe that means Kai's going to be paying, I believe, it's 2,000 life points or half of his life points?
It's half the life points.
Half life points. Going to go down to 4,000. And then White Rabbit's going to come down as Javier's normal summon. So Transaction Rollback copied the effect of Impulse to stop Dormouse from being summoned, but we have White Rabbit in the hand.
Makes perfect sense. This is going to be kind of an awkward matchup for Javier because those normal trap cards do trigger the effect of Lady Labrynth of the Silver Castle. So every time you're trying to activate that, you also are risking one of those cards being set.
Here we see the GWCO 6, which could get you access to that Dormouse, and you can use its effect to banish. That'd be really huge for Javier to keep playing, but like you said, it is a normal trap card.
It's kind of a weird interaction there. You're like, oh wait, I'm helping my opponent. This is awkward.
Yeah, unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to chain block with Dormouse because it would happen on a separate chain link as an ignition effect.
So Javier takes a look through the graveyard here, thinking about the extra deck. We are going to go ahead and activate the GWCO 6.
And we're going to chain the lady, like you said. This will get another normal trap card from Kai's deck. And we're going to chain the Ku Klux effect to be able to activate that set card that we play this turn.
Wow, he could grab something like a Destructive Cannon, Dharma Cannon.
That's really good against Link decks for sure, yeah. Kind of just like wipes them off the board.
Oh, and I see it, yeah.
You're psychic, look at you.
Just play a lot of Labrynth, that's all.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So on a new chain link, we're going to use White Rabbit's effect, pay 300 life points, go down to 74, and summon it back out to the field.
Yeah.
Oh, I see the backjack in the hand. Plenty of shenanigans left in Kai Huang's turn. Remember, this is definitely an hour turn deck if you ever saw one.
Oh, yeah. The combo version of Labrynth is really cool. Being able to set trap cards, and activate them in the same turn is always impressive. So there we see the big welcome. That'll be really huge for Lovely, because we'll be able to return a card to our hand and then be able to get a pop from either the hand or field. That can get rid of the Dormouse and stop its ignition effect from ever going off.
Oh, wow. Put the Ku Klux back into the hand to use it next turn.
Top, 2 to draw.
And then we're going to also chain Ariana to get a draw. And then we're going to chain Dragonlanator to summon back. And then
An ironic
Torby.
chain 4.
Ooh, that is a crazy chain there from Kai.
I'm going to pop. No, I'll drop it.
I think you just said pop Dormouse. Is that what I heard?
Well, he has to draw first because, remember, Lovely does not target, so he still has time to make decisions. But
100%.
the Dormouse is going to go.
I'll pop hand, so it's
Revealing that he drew the extravagance.
I like how he looked at us.
Yeah, he was like, this is for you guys. Thank you, Kai. I appreciate you understanding the show's happening.
It's heads, tail.
Oh, he chose the hand, and he's going to just randomly pick one.
Yeah.
Sniper.
Oh, and he went for the coin!
We love a coin.
Don't get a lot of coin flips in Yu-Gi-Oh! These days, so nice to see it. What a showman. But Javier still is putting in work here. Oh, and he's going to concede.
Ooh,
wow.
He doesn't want to reveal what that card was, and he wants everything in his power to make sure that is not the case. Let's see how it goes. It looks like he has chosen to go first. They're in the main phase, it looks like.
Seems like.
Starting off with Fiendsmith track, that is a great way to start off, especially with your Maliss cards in hand potentially as well, to be able to guarantee any Link 3 plays while also getting some resilience against things like Nibiru or force your opponent's hand.
Taking a quick look at the hand there, it doesn't seem like there's anything to set up an elaborate trap play on Kai Huang's side. I do see Arias, the Labrynth Butler. Looks like maybe a Shendrag Leer, but nothing that's really going to get anything done right now.
I didn't know there was a Yu-Gi-Oh card that's also a mirror. That's so neat. Kai's just looking at himself in his hand. How funny.
Oh, good stuff, good stuff. But speaking of good stuff, looks like things are turning up for Javier here as he brings out Lacrima the Crimson Tears.
Yep, this will send the Engraver. We saw this in Game 1, but now it might be a different story. Rather than trying to break a board, we're going to be building our own in the process. Engraver being sent here, I imagine it's going to be quickly summoned with the Swiftness, putting that Lurie back into the deck to be used later.
Both of these decks are designed for long grinds. Many duelists, as they choose, if they're going to play like a pure Ryzel deck or maybe a Ryzel Fiendsmith deck, the Fiendsmith deck gives you better plays as the duel continues. But if your opponent does the same, then you're kind of in trouble.
Ooh, there's Kai setting the Trap Trick from his hand. That may as well be any trap card in his deck, I'll tell you that much.
And it can be activated this turn.
Thanks to the Arias' effect.
And then the trap it gets can be activated this turn from Trap Trick. This is still anybody's game.
Yeah, Durham Karmakan, like you said, is more than on the table. So Javier needs to be really careful when he summons his Link monsters because they are not safe. So there we see the Lurie going back, and we're getting the Engraver. Last time we saw this go into a Necroquip plus an Engraver play to try to go for a Link 2 play. Let's see if he goes down that line again, but this time is uninterrupted, hopefully. Yeah, if you're Javier, you're like, okay, how do I play around what I know is Trap Trick and what I know is Durham Karmakan, because we saw it in Game 1. It didn't get activated, but we knew he had it.
The threat of it is always there, especially with Trap Trick. But it looks like we are going to go into Fiendsmith sequence here.
Okay, we're going straight into sequence. If we can get to Desiree, we can just negate the Trap Trick. So we're kind of going to force Kai Huang's hand on Summon of Desiree here to activate the Trap Trick, because if we can just equip the sequence, we'll be good to go.
Well, let's see. We've got the Desiree.
And this is all before Javier has used his normal summon, so if Kai is forced to use his Trap Trick, he's locked out of using traps for the rest of the turn, and then Javier is maybe just free to play afterwards.
Kai Huang takes a look at the empty graveyard other than the one Fiendsmith track, looks at the Trap Trick, and I think we're going for it.
Yep.
Trap Trick.
Yeah, because you just can't let this sequence get equipped with this Desiree for free. Setting the Desiree feels more than good enough, but I forget if Karmakan does not unflip at the end of the turn, right? It's not
That's
like
correct.
It is not like Book of Eclipse. They stay booked, but if they do not get... If they cannot be flipped face down, they just get destroyed instead.
No, this is definitely a powerful sequence of his own here, as he's going to be able to flip these monsters face down. And since the Link monster can't be flipped face down, it's going to get sent to the graveyard.
Yep, so there we go. The Desiree will get flipped, and the sequence will go to grave. That does deny Javier a Link 2, which means if he just has a regular Maliss name like Chessy Cat, his turn is good to go. But there we have the talent, because he activated Arias this turn. We're going to reveal the hand. It's Stovey Torby. Oh, he's chaining the Torby, discarding the rollback, and revealing the lovely Labrynth. I was like, wait. Hold on. Did they change Talent's effect to be Delinquent Duo all of a sudden? I didn't think so. No. Wow, that's really heads up from Kai there. And then we're going to be able to set the Big Welcome. We're revealing the Lovely. The Lovely gets shuffled back in the deck, but Kai has no problem with that. He has Big Welcome for his next turn, but no cards in hand. His turn hasn't even started yet, and he has 0 cards already.
Well, we talk about, looping of the hand, right? Using card effects to go ahead and discard card after card after card. Kai Huang did to himself, but he's got a stacked graveyard, plenty of great effects in there, and a very powerful trap card at the ready. And the only thing Javier can do is set. I think we're going to see a pass after this.
No, you forgot it's a Maliss deck.
That's true.
Setting a card is basically showing I have the nuts.
That is true. That is true. All right, so getting the Maliss P Dormouse here. Let's go ahead and banish the Maliss White Rabbit.
Yeah, this is an age as old as time right here, this story. We're going to go White Rabbit. White Rabbit will be paying 300 life points to summon itself. We're going to be setting another trap card from deck. I wonder what that face down is for Javier.
Look, paying half your life points to go ahead and redo the card mechanic again with the transaction rollback.
That's right. Trap Trick only stops you from activating traps in the field, doesn't it? It does not stop you from using effects in the graveyard. And we're going to be reactivating that Karma Cannon, it looks like.
Flipping it face down.
And you cannot link summon using face down monsters, unfortunately.
No, you cannot. They'd have to make a Maliss Fusion monster, but we'll save that for 2030.
Oh, Javier's asking how the chain would resolve, I think. Because if he's able to have the set card and then, like, on a new chain, rollback will copy Daruma Karma Cannon, he can chain Jiudiceo 6 to that.
That is true.
But I don't think that's how it works. I believe rollback, when it copies, will just use it as, like, chain 2 here.
It does use it in the same chain. Like, that is correct.
Yeah.
It replaces that part of the chain link with the effect you copied.
100%, right. So that means Javier is just debating here what face down he should go for. Because if he gets rid of his mouse monsters being booked, means they can't be banished with the trap cards either, unfortunately. Because I believe they need to be able to know their Maliss monsters.
They lose their Maliss name tag, that's for sure.
Ooh, double rollback was Kai's hand. You mentioned, like, all Kai really needs on his turn is a way to activate some powerful trap cards, and he can totally stymie Javier, and we're seeing it right now.
Just incredible play there, and still has the Arias, the Labrynth Butler, in the graveyard, able to special summon himself to the field.
Yes, literally. He'd be like, I'm going to summon myself. Is that okay?
Is he just going to stand on the table then?
Well, I did Trap Trick. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, maybe Trap Trick does.
No, it should just be the activation. I think it may be just the shuffling of the deck here.
Yeah,
Still in main phase.
Yes, exactly. I went back in on stuff is what he meant. I was like, no, you can activate your rollback. You already did it.
Definitely a dizzying duel, that's for sure. We're going to draw.
Did we just draw the Lovely?
I think we got the Lovely
did we just draw
back.
The Lovely? That's a little unfortunate there for Kai.
Not helpful.
Now, it is worth noting that, you know, on Javier's next turn.
Oh, he's revealing. He said, this is funny. I think he's about to special summon it from his hand. Oh, maybe not.
You definitely want to get Lady here so you can get another trap card, surely, right?
True. Oh, but the Ariana for the bounce.
Of course.
Yeah.
We forgot that. I forgot Big Welcome always has to bounce. And if you have no cards, it's got to come to you.
But he does get to normal summon now.
Yeah, and it's Ariana, one of the best normal summons in his deck. And Torby will coming out because the card is added back to the hand due to a trap effect.
Feels like you're never down and out in Labrynth. You're just one furniture piece away.
There's all this advantage, and we're just seeing so many recycling of resources all throughout this tournament. You know, I feel like the grind game has been ever present during this event.
We go through sort of different formats where sometimes it's all about establishing a field of monsters that say no. I love that this format is about just playing and playing and playing.
Yeah, it's more of a format of, oh no, I'm going to keep going anyway.
So we're going to keep going. Take a look at the graveyard there. Not too much of interest really on either side. Fiendsmith tracked active on Javier's side and some traps that could be used with a transaction rollback. The Big Welcome Labrynth can't be used this turn because you can only use each effect once per turn and only one of those effects once per turn.
Kai does need to be a little bit careful here because I'm not sure how he outs the face-down Desiree because even if the Desiree does get like destroyed or something and sent to the graveyard, Javier will be able to send one of Kai's cards to the graveyard in response to that.
Absolutely.
So that could be a really good thing for him.
Well, hopefully this is a question he has asked himself at some point during the tournament.
Yep, so now we're going to grab Lady here.
We already activated Labrynth effects. That's coming right out at Kai's pleasure.
Yep, it looks like you're just using the effect right now to summon out. Does Javier have an impulse of his own? That'd be really fun.
If it was set, that would be super, super good, but doesn't look like he does. Gonna go and set that monster. There's no set cards on the field, so it could be destroyed and targeted.
And it is forced to summon in defense mode, very notably.
Battle phase.
We're going to go battle phase and have Ariana attack, I would assume, the Dormouse, but we know Javier has GWCO 6, meaning any mouse name you get rid of, he can just bring back at the end phase. So it's a little rough to get rid of White Rabbit because that could get him more trap cards if he has any. But he's going to go for the White Rabbit, it looks like.
Wait, this is the White Rabbit. I'll hit White Rabbit.
Yeah. That is White Rabbit. It'll be going to the graveyard, but that means it can be back with GWCO 6 if needed.
Second deck.
So we've been talking about how great the Labrynth deck is against Maliss, but Maliss actually has a lot of in-archetype outs for all these different situations, including the Lady Labrynth of the Silver Castle, because the targeting issue is not an issue, and neither is destruction, because you have non-targeting banish.
Now, it is rough if the Lovely was in play, because then you can't respond to trap cards. But right now, Lovely's not in play, so Javier does not need to worry about that. But we did set regular Welcome Labrynth just now, and then Kai just proceeds to end his turn. Javier probably just debating if he wants to use his GWCO 6 at the end phase. He does not. He's going to draw for turn. He could just go flip summon, honestly, flip summon Desiree, and then just like first action, bring back sequence seems really good. And equip it to it, so you have the double negate.
I think that's what we're going to do, taking an eye look at the Fiendsmith Desiree face down and the Maliss Dormouse face down. It is a trap deck, so you got to be careful what you flip up first. But take a look at the graveyard. There is that single bounce there from the Big Welcome Labrynth to the grave and the Arias.
Yeah, plenty. And technically, like if we do end up getting a Big Welcome online at any point, Stovey Torby comes back too. But so far, not.
Looks like we're banishing to bounce.
Yep, there it is.
Does mean Desiree could come back.
Summon out.
But without any other Fiends with the cards being able to put back that sequence, this could be really rough for Javier. There we have Torby coming back, like I said, because the card was bounced due to a trap effect. And then we draw a card.
I think that was another cannon.
Not the best to have in this situation, because unless he has another Arias access, he won't be able to set it this turn.
Well, Javier may be able to run away with this duel by just punching through with this Maliss monster. So we'll activate the effect of Maliss P Dormouse to banish one Maliss name.
Yeah, another really good card, specifically in the Maliss deck for this matchup, is going to be White Binder, because you can banish all of the Labrynth cards. Traps, monsters, doesn't really matter. They're all victim to the queen.
That's good.
Battle of two queens, I just realized.
Yes, the Maliss queens and the Labrynth queens. But here we have Chessie coming down. This could just be the last name that Javier has besides White Rabbit and Dormouse, because this deck plays a much smaller Maliss engine, notably, than other Maliss versions. But if he does have another Maliss name in hand, whether it's a spell card or a monster, he could represent a lot of strength here by getting a free draw too.
And I realize we haven't seen a Bystial in a long time here, so maybe running a slimmer Bystial package as well. Certainly helpful to maybe get rid of that Arias and have another body on the field, but nowhere in sight. So Javier taking a look at that face down card, thinking about it, and yep.
Ooh, it's the MTP07 to be able to search for that Maliss name that he needs to either summon from hand or banish and get more value. That's going to be really huge if Javier can resolve this.
Chain to set a trap.
It is a normal trap card, so he's going to be chaining the Lady effect here to get another set face down.
Just a very weird match for sure. Something that certainly is going to be common, you know, as the days go by. Labrynth isn't going anywhere. There's always one really good Labrynth player at every YCS. They don't usually look this fashionable, but they're definitely out there.
Yes. So there you see the Dormouse being added with this MTP07. Because there is no Maliss Link monster in play, you will not get the non-target banish, but you do get a free Rhoda, essentially. And now, I think because we haven't used Dormouse's effect to summon from the banish this turn, we're going to use Chessie Cat here to get the extra body on board and get a free draw too. Maybe draw some of those Bystials you're talking about, which would be really useful for Javier here for either extending or stymieing his opponent. This match is far from over.
Well, Javier keeping the cards close to the chest, didn't get a chance to see what he drew, but we are going to pay 300 to bring the Maliss P Dormouse back.
Yeah, if you're a Javier, do you try to go for a straight Link 3? Oh, but Kai's not giving him the option to. He's going to go straight for that Welcome Labrynth to summon. My assumption is it's going to summon from the deck here. Yes. This could be, what, Ku-Klok? This could be, oh, it's going to be Arias. He's going to summon himself the hard way.
Just walking up on the table there.
Yep, and then we're going to use the Arias' effect, and he's not going to be able to...
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Then he can set the Karma Cannon from his hand.
And he can activate it this turn. And Javier does not know that the card he drew off Ariana is Karma Cannon. I was like, how is Kai going to get access to another Arias this turn? Duh, he can just add it from his deck to the field.
There it
Labrynth.
is.
But notably, Javier has not normal summoned. But to my knowledge, he also has no other Maliss names that can be summoned from deck, but he does have the GWCO6.
We didn't see what he drew. Maybe he's lucky enough to have gotten another Maliss name.
For a normal summon, for sure, yeah. Or Engraver.
That'll do it.
Engraver is more than good enough. And it is worth noting that all of Kai's monsters did get booked as well, and to my knowledge, he has no more floating effects because the other effect of Big Welcome has already been activated, and I believe you can only use one effect of Big Welcome per turn.
That is right.
So that set one is not going to be doing anything. So if Javier can go to a full Fiendsmith combo line and set up Desiree again, like you were mentioning earlier, that could be really huge for his follow-up.
I like that Fiendsmith. Sure.
And we have Tracked as well. Okay, this is going to be a full Fiendsmith board here.
That was a really good draw off the Chessie Cat for sure. We've got about 19 minutes left on the clock. Kai down on life points. It'll be interesting to see if he goes ahead and calls it in or decides to go the distance on this one. Because again, single elimination. The rules are a little different.
Yeah, this definitely feels like a Desiree Gambit to me. And Javier might try to also end on being able to go like GWCO6, summon back the White Rabbit, and then use the sequence that he summons off of putting it back with Engraver to go for White Binder, banish all of Kai's follow-up, and then go Desiree, re-equip the sequence, and then attack, and go, your turn, Kai. I have a negate plus a White Binder. Over to you.
Well, let's see what he definitely passes into. Yeah, we are going to go ahead and use the Requiem now.
Yeah, it definitely feels like we're going to go back for that sequence, for that Lacquer that we set back earlier. We're going to use... Not going to use the Effectus? Yeah, we're going to probably send something like Paradise, something like another Engraver could be really good. There we see the Paradise. Javier is setting up his responses and all of his interactions that he might need to stop Kai from being able to do anything on the following turns.
Well, this is definitely Javier's window, right? If there were ever a time to play the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, it's now. You're not going to get another chance to catch Kai off guard without the ability to activate any of these traps or his monster's effects.
Everything is known. He just needs to figure out what he thinks is best here for moving forward.
Yep.
Okay, here we're choosing the GWCO6. Maybe you want to go straight into like maybe a Haggard and make a play that way. Oh, you know what? Maybe Javier thinks he has a line for going for game, because if he can set up Cryptor, Dark. Oh my goodness, that's right. He's
Wow.
playing against a dark deck right now. Talk about stealing your opponent's monsters, and we take the lovely Labrynth. That's pretty awesome.
That's good.
And the effect to set the trap card.
There-
And he can control Fiends in this deck. This is so
we got
cool.
many choices.
That is so amazing. We
good.
didn't even think about that. We've been talking about how Javier's deck, including normal traps, is hurting him because of all the interactions with Kai. But he's like, yeah, I have normal traps too.
Yeah, this discussion really swings
Fiendsmith
both
is
sides of the table because it's a weird
Magic
matchup,
is
it's a
magic.
good matchup, you want to
Yes.
play it, you don't want to play it, but this is so wild for him to set a free GWC06. Now, pay attention in the chat, though, he can only activate that while he has a Fiend, which is not uncommon in a Fiendsmith deck, but he does need to make sure that he has that Fiend unless he wants to get a procedural error minor.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, he has used both of his Maliss trap cards that have been in rotation this turn, so he's not going to be able to activate them again this turn, but he can keep this lovely Labrynth the whole time if he wanted to. But here we've returned the sequence like I thought we would, and then we're going to summon out the Engraver here, and we can still go for the line that I was talking about, but we get to do it while having a lovely Labrynth the whole time.
That is
which
so different.
Which is pretty awesome in this deck.
Definitely different to my eye, and getting the effective lovely Labrynth against a Labrynth cosplayer on the YCS feature stage. Didn't have that on my bingo card.
I'm not going to lie, it's kind of a little rude, but like I'm here for it. Like I love it so much.
All's fun in love and Yu-Gi-Oh!
So the Engraver got rid of the Lady Labrynth now that it is no longer protected and set face down. We could go for that sequence. We could go for a lot of stuff here, honestly. Like the world is Javier's oyster. I know he only has 3 zones available to him, but those 3 zones can get a lot done. Is he debating going for some damage here? I mean, may as well, right? We know the
Only
set
need to do
card.
4,000.
We know the set card is Torby, right? As well as
Yes.
Ariana.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. You wanna know the
2,000
defense?
defense and 2,100 defense, I believe, for both of them.
Both of them certainly stacked in the defense department, but not so much that you couldn't pierce through with a monster or two. I feel like if you're going to push further, you probably want to get rid of the Fiendsmith Engraver and Dark the Dark Charmer Gloomy for another Link summon, but you may just want to keep it as is. Javier's in the driver's seat, so let's see what he does.
There is an argument for like linking off this lovely, but I think Javier thinks he gets a lot of value out of keeping it in play, / keeping it away from Kai to be able to summon back if possible. But he really wants to go to a sequence line here, I think, if I'm Javier. Oh, we haven't used White Rabbit's effect to summon back from the banish yet,
That
so we're
is
going to do that
correct.
this turn and get access to our Link 3s that way.
Tier 3.
Like I said, looping in Whitebinder into this combo right now feels really good for Javier because it just obliterates all of Kai's follow-up from the graveyard.
And with only 2 zones free, he is making that Link 3.
Plus, it also gives Javier the ability to set both of his normal trap cards again. Having MTPO7 and GW6 in rotation is all the follow-up he needs.
Sorry.
And that's going to be really good here. So yeah, we're Link 3 summoning, just to
Yeah, we're
double
good,
check
we're
for
good.
everybody.
Let's continue,
And he's
yeah.
just deciding which Link 3 he wants to go for. I guess he could go for Red Ransom, but no, Whitebinder seems so good right here. I totally agree,
No,
Javier.
Just to rifle through the graveyard. Kai finally calls in his chip, so we got 14.5 minutes left on the
Will it
clock.
be
to
Kai
go.
Huang? Good luck to both. Imagine Kai was like, no,
Not
you
my
can go
main
first.
Now, I saw quite a few spell cards here, so let's start
You
off
should
with
play
Pot of
that.
Extravagance.
Yep, beginning of main phase 1, we're going to banish up to
top 6,
a
bottom
maximum of
6,
6 cards and draw 1 card for each 3.
Top or bottom? Top side.
Just going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Kai's like, let it be 2 good ones.
Well, we did lose some Chaos Angels. Showing it to the camera. Thanks. Thanks,
resolve
Kai.
it now.
Of course, the cosplayer knows how to play to the show, right? Making sure we know everything.
Wow.
Ooh, but we did draw 2 purple ones, which makes our life a little bit better, probably.
Are you a purple trap person or a pink trap person? That's an age-old debate.
They're definitely purple.
Torby, discard to set from deck.
It is called Herald of Purple Light.
Very true. They were discarding an extra copy of Extravagance to use a furniture. I believe that's Stovey, but it could be Drag Linear. I'm not sure.
All right, well, looks like we're going through the deck here, and we grab a big Welcome Labrynth. And still a decent hand. Oh, the field spell.
Ooh,
Labrynth.
Going to be able to give us some extra effects to our Welcome Labrynth trap cards, giving them some pops. Not too shabby, but no other monster cards. He's going to be setting 3 and passing. Probably a thing Kai is more than comfortable to do.
Doesn't mean those monsters aren't coming. They could be right here. Oh, no, we're going right into the main phase, though.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's great about the field spell is it gives you almost like a Ryzel detonator level of control, right? You're not only getting your game plan on, but you do get to destroy your opponent's cards before they get to actually get materials on the field.
And here we go. Javier starting up with the Fiendsmith side of his deck, as always. Going to be sending that Engraver to the graveyard and getting tracked. This is really huge. This is definitely how you want to start off. It gives Javier access to so many resources, and again, potentially an early Desiree and a sequence.
I think I saw an Artifact Lancia in Kai's hand.
Ooh, interesting.
That's incredible there. He mentioned it earlier. He was surprised his opponent didn't have it, but I guess he drew into it, and now he might be ready to use it at a moment's notice here.
I mean, there is something to be said about, okay, first of all, Javier's grabbing Lacrima as his card off track, not Lurie, meaning he probably already has Lurie in hand, or he just really wants to normal summon this card and nothing else. We're going to be sending the Paradise from our hand to the graveyard. Very heads-up play from Javier here, getting that extra interruption already locked in.
It also means he drew it in that opening hand, so he definitely wanted to get rid of it since he wouldn't be able to with Lacrima.
100%. Now we can use Lacrima here to send another copy of Engraver. Probably would be the best option here. Just get plenty of names for rotation and follow-up. Makes a lot of sense to me, because now if we do end up going for a Desiree, we have plenty of material to summon it. And then here we can go for Requiem. Weirdly, Requiem could, in theory, I guess, summon out Lurie, or does it? You know, you can only summon Fiendsmith cards, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
I was like, no, that one doesn't. It requires Light Fiends. It doesn't summon Light Fiends.
They play well together, but not that well together.
That'd be funny if he did do that, though. All right, so here we see the Requiem going away. Gonna get the third Engraver potentially. That's the only thing I could think of that's a target. Yep, there he is, the boy.
And we know the Fiendsmith cards recycle themselves pretty well, but it also means that if there's any draws in future turns, you're not going to draw anything redundant because you've kind of used up most of your Fiendsmith engine. And this is also kind of a way to check Kai to see, you don't seem to be stopping anything. That's interesting. I guess I can keep playing.
Sure.
Yeah, because Kai is definitely the most afraid of the Maliss part of his deck, because the Maliss part of his deck is how he's going to get enough damage to win the game this turn. All right, so here we are. We could go for a Necro Quip. We could summon the other Engraver, but we're just going to go Battle Phase and deal 1,800 to the Dome.
Looks like our life points may need to be updated there because that is first damage.
Yes, well, actually, it looks like on
Regular
Detect Declaration, we're activating Welcome Labyrinth, so it's still 8K to 8K for both players, for those watching at home. But there we see the Welcome Labyrinth, which has the added extra effect of being able to pop a card now, thanks to Labrynth.
And it doesn't target, which is really going to help here.
And we have the lady coming down.
Pick me if I want to pop. Sure.
He's considering leaving the Fiendsmith Engraver on the field and just getting rid of the Requiem. Oh, but he doesn't destroy it at all.
Interesting. Probably doesn't want to have the Requiem back in graveyard, I suppose.
And the Requiem can't do very much. We've seen how agile Lacrima is by throwing the Requiem back out and then just continuing turns from there. But it's not like you're really doing anything with the Requiem because you cannot target Lovely Lady. This might be the one time that there's an issue. Excuse me, Lady Silver of the Scale.
Yes,
Lady
of the
Labrynth of Silver Castle.
Yeah. Lady, they're both ladies and they're both lovely, so we can get them mixed up all the time.
Especially with the new art, by the way. I don't know if you've seen it, but she definitely gets the armor back out.
Mm-hmm. So there we see the Princess coming down. We have not used Engraver's effect to summon from the graveyard, so this could represent Caesar, it could represent Sequence.
That's good.
I believe we set back another copy of Engraver there.
He hasn't used the Destruction effect. It technically means if he has another Welcome Labyrinth card, he could choose to use it then.
Very true.
But this would be the chance to do it.
6 minutes now.
So here we go for the potential Link 2 here. Into Fiendsmith's Sequence, I would assume.
Oh, okay, I was scared.
And this gives us access to that Desiree line that I was talking about earlier. All before we're using our normal summon. Oh, no, we normal summoned Lacrima, didn't we?
We did.
All without using any Maliss names, we should say. We're going to go for the Dark here, because Necroquip is a Dark monster. We have Stovey Torby as our only target right now.
Could activate a trap to get it out of the graveyard.
We're just going to use the effect on summon here, and we're going to chain Big Welcome Labyrinth.
So they did save the Welcome Labyrinth effect there. The additional effect you're getting out of the Labyrinth to destroy it. I guess you can get rid of the Dark Charmer Gloomy now.
Yep, we went ahead and summoned the Torby, but then in the same effect of Big Welcome, added it back to our hand to stop the Dark Charmer from getting the extra bit of material. But because Kai did summon a monster, is he able to activate Paradise here? I don't believe so. Wait, no, yeah, he can, because a monster was special summoned, right?
Well, I'm not seeing it on the field there, but... Yeah, I guess he is going to do it, so he banishes to send the Desiree.
Yeah, so what he did was he went Big Welcome, summoned the Torby, but then he just added the Torby back to his hand using Big Welcome.
That
so
makes
it was
sense,
still
makes sense.
Special summoned. And then we have Desiree, and he's going to chain the Trap Trick to the Desiree's effect to send it to the graveyard.
So nothing really got done here. A lot of interesting plays, but able to just very swiftly dodge Javier's attempt to get rid of the face-down card with the Fiendsmith Desiree's effect. But a lot of choices here for the Trap Trick.
Yeah, Javier's just kind of forcing... Kai to use all of his effects. And there we see the Trap Trick getting Dominus Impulse, banishing the other copy to the banishment, so that way he can stop any summons if Javier does have something like a Gold Sark or a Maliss and Underground or a Bystial, these impulses will be able to stop them from being summoned.
Definitely a masterclass in patience, when to hold them and when to fold them, right? We are in Texas after all, but the joke aside, not activating that effect really cornered Javier into these specific plays, and now Kai looks like he's doing good again.
Yep. Looks like Javier had no extra engines from his deck, but during the end phase, we are going to be discarding the Artifact Lancia, like you said. Normally, the really big selling point for this Bystial Maliss Fiendsmith version of the deck is that you don't really lose to Lancia because you have other engines that can be played into it, like Fiendsmith, like Bystials. But Javier didn't see those, so this Lancia is no longer needed, and Kai's like, I'd rather have a trap card, so I'm going to go get that.
So, Drew, I think I saw an Ariana drawn. Labrynth Servant.
Wow, after already using the effect to set another trap card using Stovey Torby, that's pretty big. We're going to use the effect of Big Welcome to bounce the Dark back to Javier's extra deck because we do control the Lady.
You'll get a lot of resources out of that, so...
And then we have Welcome Labrynth being activated for the turn to summon another monster.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
We're chaining to the effect of Big Welcome Labrynth, I see.
Wow. So just to reorganize this, activate Big Welcome Labrynth, banish from the graveyard in order to target Dark. Then chain Welcome Labrynth because there was no response. And technically can also chain Lady Labrynth, the Silver Castle. Bystial Baldrake is going to try to banish something from the graveyard, but we'll see Dominus Impulse to stop that. Now, Infinite Impermanence is going to chain, but you can still chain the Infinite Impermanence. Basically is triggering the Lady of the Silver Castle, so everything still came out Kai's way, expertly cornered.
So yeah, chain 6 is Lady to set. Chain 5 is Imperm, negating Lady.
You gotta wind all this back.
Where's my lovely...
Chain 4 was the other trap card, Dominus Impulse. So Baldrake does get summoned because Imperm does resolve, therefore negating that. And then we have Welcome's effect to summon Lovely. And now we're going to, on a new chain, use Labrynth to pop the trap card. Or sorry, the set face down for Javier.
Wow, just really skillful and using the additional effect to finally destroy a card, almost making Javier forget that that was a thing that the field spell did.
Getting rid of GWC06 using Labrynth.
One to pop.
And now we're going to chain Lovely to pop, and then we're going to also chain Stovey Torby and chain
it is banished, you're correct.
Labrynth.
Just set to the field, sorry. So set, pop.
Oh, remember, yeah, the Baldrake targeted Torby to banish.
So we'll reset the welcome.
And now Javier literally has just a Baldrake and a Dream.
Dominus Impulse is set.
Oh, and setting the Dominus Impulse again makes it very difficult to make a comeback with Maliss.
29.
Yep, so we're going to swing 29, and then we're going to swing 3K to the face.
And with 1:40 left on the clock, that is a very important 3,000 to the face indeed.
Javier's now at 5,000 life points, and Kai is representing all the resources he needs to go for game next turn. And besides the few Fiendsmith cards that Javier has in his yard, I'm not sure how much follow-up he has. So yep, he's going to go ahead and use the Requiem here. Sorry, the Lacrima to summon back the Requiem, and he's going to use the Requiem to potentially summon the Lacrima during the end phase of Kai's turn. Get another send from the deck to the graveyard. Going to be getting rid of that Engraver once again. Just maximizing his chances to draw into Maliss Engine, I would assume. Here we go, the Draw of Destiny. What is it?
Summon from deck.
In draw phase, we have Labrynth again. He'll be able to pop here if he wants to. There we see Daruba Karma Cannon because of Lady's effect to set it from the deck.
Summon pop.
And there we see Ariana, and the pop will be happening on Lacrima because of Labrynth.
One to pop.
Just always in control.
You got it.
And then we have Lovely's effect to send from the grave, and Javier scoops it up with no cards in hand and no cards on field. He has no hope of winning the game. Kai Wong advances the top 16.
Kai making history here, I think, is our very first cosplayer getting this far in the tournament. We've seen plenty of cosplayers, myself included, but this is a person who